You just mentioned the shift in consumption attitudes among the new generation, especially in the food and beverage industry over the past couple of years. Many new companies are emerging, like those offering zero-sugar, low-calorie products, and other relatively new concepts. These are part of the new economy, but this also ties into what you mentioned about challenges between online and offline channels. Online, these companies might generate buzz, but when it comes to sales, the competition they face is extremely tough.
I completely agree with your observation. This phenomenon is extremely common, right? Because by leveraging traffic and mobile social internet, and by monetizing products, these brands are able to create a huge buzz. But does that necessarily mean success? Not at all. In the new consumer market, many internet brands have tapped into human weaknesses. What Professor Zhang Weiyin said is very important. In business, it's fine to make money by understanding people, but not from their weaknesses. If you do, you're just using traffic and making shallow connections. That's only short term. So, being good in your time, earning money through effort, deserves respect. Let me explain what it means to make money off people's weaknesses. Take zero sugar, zero calorie products. They're not truly zero sugar or zero calorie. They just swap one sugar for another. Maybe it's technically zero sugar, but not zero calories, so it's just a play on words. Creating these concepts is just marketing. Yeah, so a lot of people are really good at learning the 4P theory. They study Kotler really well. But hardly anyone studies Drucker.
We also see many so-called older, more traditional companies in the consumer industry. They've also started to innovate, but in the long run, if they want to achieve far-reaching development, what should they pay attention to?
For a great company, at its core, its values have to be absolutely right. Their worldview, values, and outlook on life must be proper. It's not just about having the right values.
They sincerely create good products and services for society, helping consumers experience consumer surplus. In economics, this means the enjoyment from what you buy is worth more than what you paid, exceeding expectations. What's even more important, you need to lead society forward. So Bezos once said that a lot of people look for what's changing, but often what's unchanging gets overlooked. And what is that unchanging thing? It's focusing on the lifetime value of the consumer. As for Chinese companies, up to now, most of us are profit-driven. We're what you might call economic animals. If there's money to be made, we want to earn it. We don't see things as high or low, noble or humble. An entrepreneur once asked, "Is any penny really clean?" I just blocked him. I believe the same principle applies everywhere, even in families. You can make money by doing good, and succeed in business by being honest and down to earth.
But isn't this also related to the stage of economic development a country is in? Of course, their pursuit of profit is indiscriminate because they don't have a choice.
Well, actually, there is a choice. It's just that society is shaped by this environment because we haven't promoted business civilization, business ethics, or business morals.
Yeah, so China's social enlightenment isn't complete. For commercial enlightenment, there's really nothing to discuss. I'm not saying Chinese companies aren't strong or hardworking. Our entrepreneurs work hard, but China's business culture and commercial enlightenment aren't fully realized. We still judge everything by size and scale. We judge people not by how they run their business, but by other things. In China, only a few people can become the richest, and richest isn't about being wealthy. It's about being the most in debt. China's so-called richest people are those who owe the most money. For companies like ours that don't owe money, we have no status or standing. Why is that? If you run your business honestly and steadily, nobody pays attention. The more you owe, the more you do, the more you put yourself out there, the more society pays attention. Like, you're so big, but no one ever says, "Wow, you're really strong or capable." Yeah, you never hear you're doing the right thing, because in China's business culture, there's a real obsession with being big. There's no real aspiration to be a good team player. This is something that's really lacking in China's business culture, business civilization, and business ethics. Only when we fill in this missing piece and do it well, will I truly feel optimistic about China. If we all have a unified market economy where competition is at the center and there's no distinction between domestic and foreign capital or between state-owned and private enterprises, if all those differences disappear and we have a truly unified large market, Just like what's been mentioned recently about the Chinese economy. In my personal opinion, it's only a matter of time before we reach the top of the world, right? That's why I'm optimistic about China, and my optimism is based on logical analysis. So, I am truly full of hope for China.
After you've invested in so many consumer projects, including what you're facing now, given these complex challenges, has your logic for investing in consumer sectors or the principles you firmly believed in at the beginning changed at all? How have they evolved? And going forward, which specific areas within consumer sectors are you focusing on the most?
Nothing has changed. I think Jiahua is just like me, right? I'm someone who's pretty loyal and consistent. There's nothing like the ideas I had when I first started investing. Do I feel now that they need to be revised? Not really. Yes, there have been big changes. At first, it was about making money, but now it's about building a career. I want to enrich my life, to find value and meaning. That's the biggest change. For Jiahua and myself, I'm no longer working just for money. My approach has changed too. I now lean more toward empowering others and being altruistic. So I'm not just focused on the act of spending money, but rather on how the companies and brands that receive my investment can actually improve and what they can achieve. I think that's extremely important. That's why we don't go for quantity. We're all about quality. As for the future, I'm optimistic our focus on essential, high-frequency, everyday needs will remain unchanged. That's our constant, because the 1.4 billion people in China deserve a better life, right? I think the government also emphasizes this, right? It's all about people's livelihoods. There are contradictions between people's needs for a better life and unbalanced, insufficient development. Can we help make a difference? We've invested in many of China's first listed companies for nuts, snacks, sports drinks, and breakfast items. And so on, including the first company in metal packaging, right? I think in the future, we'll keep moving forward on this path even more solidly. Secondly, we want to support China's economy and help outstanding local brands truly become part of everyday life, empowering ordinary people. I genuinely believe in this mission. The warmth of everyday life comforts ordinary people the most. Life is lived one day at a time. Peaceful days don't come easily.